Dear students, in our today's class, we are going to discuss about DBMS users. They can also be called as database users. Before going to the point, you need to understand what is meant by DBMS users. Generally, user means a person who will use the computer. What is meant by database users? That is DBMS users. It means a database which is created. Okay, how many persons will include in creating that database, and also how many persons will use after the creation of database? All these persons are called as database users. Okay, hope you have understood. Now come to the point. To design, okay, to design the database, use the database and maintain the database. Okay, many people are involved. The people who work with the database includes, okay, whoever work with the database, they include all these persons: end users, system analysts, application programmers, database administrators, and database designers. In short, I will explain you. After that, we will go to the point one by one. End users. End user means after designing, after creating the database software, the person who will use that software is called as end user. If you take banking system or college system, ready-made software, who are the persons will use? Those persons are called as end users. Just like the operators who will sit in the back and operate the system, and the computer operators who will operate in school and college system, they are called as end users. Basically, we ourselves we can call as end users. System analyst. System analyst means what are the requirements needed to develop the software, and the person who will analyze the requirements of that software is called as system analyst. Application programmer. Application programmer means a person who will write the programs of that database software is called as application programmer. Then database administrator. The overall control of that software a person will hold, and that person is called as database administrator. And finally, database designer. Database designer means a person who will give a perfect software outlook, a perfect database outlook. He will be called as database designer. Now, in this class, we are going to discuss all these 5 persons one after the other. Now, we are discussing about the DBMS users one by one. First one is end user. We can also be called as a database user. What is the work of database user? Who is the end user or who is the database user? Database users are those who interact with the database. Okay, ready-made database. The person who interact with the ready-made database in order to query. Query means in order to do his personal work, or personal means not his personal work, do the work of any organization or the bank or the school like this, and update the database and generate reports. He works with the database and he will update the details day by day. Okay, as like we will update your attendance. Okay, like that he will update day by day and he will generate its reports. Reports means he will take its printouts, that is in the form of hard copy. And then next one is system analyst. System analysts determine the requirements of end users. End user will say that this type of requirements are needed. I will give an example. Okay, you are the end users, okay, and I am the system analyst. You will ask me to explain your chapters in easiest understandable form. Okay, like that here, end user will ask the system analyst that these are the requirements needed for the database. Okay, he is system analyst to create a solution for the business. End users will ask the system analyst their requirements. Okay, and system analyst will determine the requirements to create the solution of the end user's business. Okay, need a focus on non-technical and technical aspects, and he will give a focus on non-technical and technical aspects. Okay, he will analyze the requirements of the end user. Next, application programmer. He is a person who will create the programs. Okay, these are the computer professionals who implement the specifications given by the system analyst. System analyst will take all the needs of end user, and system analyst will analyze, that means give a block diagram of the software, and application program will develop the program based on the block diagram given by the system analyst and develop the application programs. It means these are the application programmers are the computer professionals who implement means who will create the specifications given by the system analyst and develop the application programs. Hope you have understood these three users. Now come to the last two users of DBMS, database administrator, that you can call as DBA. Remember the abbreviations, you may get these abbreviations for 1 mark. DBA, or what does DBA stands for, or you may get these two type of questions. One is expand DBA, or for what does DBA stands for. Like this you can get the question. DBA is a person, that is database administrator, is a person who has central control over both the data and the application, as I have told. He is the overall administrator. He can control the database as well as the software which is created. Okay, whatever the things needed, he will give those things, make available for the end user. Some of the responsibilities of DBA are, okay, we shall see what are the responsibilities of DBA. Authorization access. If any end user wants his authorization, then administrator can give authorization. Then schema definition. Okay, schema definition means what are the things included in the database. Their small definitions. That means in a short form, every detail of the database will be given. And modification, if any changes are needed, he can do. And new software installation, he will install the new software and update whenever needed. And security enforcement and administration, he will give proper security and he will work as a complete administrator of any of the database system, for which system he is the administrator. And next thing is database designers. Database designers are responsible for identifying the data to be stored in the database. Database designers are the persons who are responsible for identifying the data which is needed to be stored in the database, for choosing appropriate structures and to represent and store the data. Okay, he will give appropriate representation of the database software. which is required to store the data and which is required for representing data. Okay, this person is called as database designer. Hope you have understood the end users completely. Dear students, if you have any doubts regarding today's class, you can ask me personally. Thank you.